Hello. The haircut is scheduled for tomorrow. But first, let's look into the book of Isaiah. We'll get to Mark 16 eventually. In Isaiah says, I saw the Lord. When he has this vision of seeing the Lord in glory and his train filled the temple, his reaction was, I'm dead. I've seen the Lord. This is too much. Nobody can see God and live. As he also became aware of how sinful he was and how sinful his society was. And his society was the good guys. Israel, Judah, that's God's people. These weren't pagans like the Assyrians or the Egyptians worshiping hundreds of gods. These were the called people of God, whom God had said, be holy, for I'm holy. But how badly they had messed up. And Isaiah knew they'd messed up. He knew he'd messed up. He was expecting to be held accountable. But then, something happened. One of the seraphims, a seraph, came to him, having a live coal in his hands, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar. It must be really hot coals if even an angel needs tongs. Maybe there's a bit of angelic theater going on. He lit it upon Isaiah's mouth and said, Lo, this has touched your lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. After his sin was purged, he was commissioned. He says in verse 8, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And Isaiah said, Hineni, here am I, send me. Now, this kind of experience wasn't unique to Isaiah. We see back in Genesis when Jacob has his dream at Bethel and sees that although he has been a rather despicable person and he's all out of his birthright and is now having to face the consequences. When Jacob sees the vision, when he wakes up, he says, what a... You think maybe after seeing the glory of God and seeing the angels going up and down, you'd be, wow, it's amazing. I've seen a vision of heaven. Great. What a blessing. No. Jacob says, what a dreadful place this is. This is scary. When you think, I want to be in God's hands, I want him to hold me tight, leaning on the everlasting arms. Maybe we should first think, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. It's a fearful thing. And yet, it's also a very good thing to be in God's hands and to know that's where you are. Likewise with St. Peter, after Jesus calls him, before he's St. Peter, he's just Peter the fisherman. And Jesus says, I want to take your boat out to the deep and cast your nets. Peter's like, Rabbi, we just finished cleaning the nets. We were there all night. We didn't catch a thing. But because you say so, I'll do it. So he goes out, probably muttering, I'm going to have to clean the nets again. My wife's going to be yelling at me. Why do you take so long? They get there, they put on the nets, and lo and behold, the big catch fish, and he pulls them up. And there's so many fish, he begins to tear the nets. So let's call the other fishermen for help. When they get all back ashore, Peter's like, great. Now I'm going to have here overtime. And he looks at Jesus and says, go away. I am a sinful man. It's like Isaiah said, I am a sinful man. My lips are unclean. People around me are unclean. We stink. What are you coming to me for? And just like Isaiah, Peter gets commissioned. Don't be afraid. From now on, you'll be catching men. From now on, you'll be fishing for people. Well, in Mark 16, the same Peter had betrayed Jesus 3 times. And Jesus had been crucified. Probably not feeling very good after you've been following this guy around for 3 years, and when push came to shove, you said, I have no idea who he is. And you might have said a little bit more than that. But then Peter is with the disciples when Jesus comes to them after he's raised from the dead. And when he does come, the first thing he says is, peace to you. But also in Mark 16, verse 14, when he appeared to the 11 as he sat at meat, he upbraided them for their unbelief and for the hardness of heart, because they believed not those who had seen him after he was raised from the dead. And he said to them, Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. He who believes and is baptized shall be saved, but he who believes not shall be condemned. In a couple of weeks, we'll be celebrating St. Patrick's Day here in America. And these same words were quoted by St. Patrick. They were in his copy of the Gospels. Patrick and Peter and Jacob and Isaiah knew that even though they had done some terrible things, even though the people around them had done some terrible things, our God is a God of grace. Our God is a God of glory. Our God uses and redeems bad people all the time. God uses us. He transforms us. He directs us. He commissions us to share the gospel into all the world. May you consider these words on this second day of Lent. Farewell.